The M48 and M60 Patton tanks represent a powerful chapter in American armored warfare, a story shaped by Cold War tension, rapid technological change, and decades of global service. Their development began in the early 1950s, at a time when the United States faced a new strategic reality. World War II had ended, but the rise of the Soviet Union and the outbreak of the Korean War made it clear that future conflicts would demand stronger, better protected, and more versatile main battle tanks. The M26 Pershing and M46 Patton had shown promise, but they were no longer enough. What the U.S. Army needed was a tank that could dominate the battlefield, survive against modern anti-tank weapons, and deliver decisive firepower. This need gave birth to the M48 Patton. The M48 entered service in 1952 and immediately stood out due to its distinctive rounded hull and turret, a design meant to improve ballistic protection by deflecting enemy rounds. This was a significant shift from the boxier tanks of earlier generations. The M48 was armed with a 90mm gun, powerful for its time, capable of engaging enemy armor and fortified positions with deadly effectiveness. Its crew of 4, commander, gunner, loader, and driver, worked in close coordination, relying on improved optics and fire control systems that gave U.S. forces an edge on the battlefield. However, despite its advanced design, early versions of the M48 suffered from mechanical reliability issues and high fuel consumption, challenges that engineers would work tirelessly to resolve. As the Cold War intensified, the M48 became a symbol of American military presence across the globe. Thousands were deployed to Europe under NATO, forming a key line of defense against a potential Warsaw Pact invasion. The tank also saw combat in the Vietnam War, where its role shifted from tank-on-tank engagements to infantry support, convoy protection, and base defense. In the dense jungles and muddy terrain of Southeast Asia, the M48 proved surprisingly adaptable. Its firepower was devastating against enemy positions, and its heavy armor offered valuable protection against mines and ambushes, even though the environment pushed the limits of its design. By the late 1950s, however, it was clear that armored warfare was evolving once again. New anti-tank weapons, longer engagement ranges, and the increasing threat of nuclear and chemical warfare required further innovation. Rather than starting from scratch, U.S. engineers chose to build upon the strengths of the M48 platform, leading to the development of the M60 Patton. Introduced in 1960, the M60 represented a major leap forward and is often considered the first true American main battle tank. One of the most notable changes in the M60 was its main gun. The 90mm cannon was replaced by a powerful 105mm M68 gun, derived from the highly respected British L7. This weapon gave the M60 the ability to defeat virtually any tank it might face at the time, including the latest Soviet designs. The increased firepower was complemented by improved ammunition types, allowing the M60 to engage targets at longer ranges with greater accuracy and lethality. The fire control system continued to evolve, incorporating better range-finding and stabilization, which significantly improved first-round hit probability. Another critical improvement was the switch to a diesel engine. Unlike the gasoline-powered engines of earlier Patton tanks, the M60's diesel engine was more fuel-efficient, offered greater range, and reduced the risk of catastrophic fires when the tank was hit. This change alone dramatically increased survivability and operational endurance. The M60 also featured thicker armor in key areas and enhanced protection against nuclear, biological, and chemical threats. Reflecting the realities of Cold War battle planning. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, the M60 became the backbone of U.S. armored forces and was widely exported to American allies. Countries in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia adopted the tank, often modifying it to suit their specific needs. The M60A1 introduced a redesigned turret with improved armor, while the M60A3 brought advanced fire control systems, including a laser rangefinder and thermal imaging. These upgrades ensured that the Patton lineage remained relevant even as newer tanks entered service. The combat record of the M60 is extensive and varied. While it did not see large-scale tank battles under the U.S. flag during the Cold War, it played a significant role in the arsenals of allied nations. In the Middle East, M60 tanks were used by Israel, Iran, and other countries in multiple conflicts. Their performance varied depending on training, tactics, and support, but the tank consistently demonstrated its robustness and firepower. In many cases, upgraded M60s proved capable of holding their own against newer Soviet-designed tanks, especially when crew skill and battlefield awareness were high. Beyond combat, the M48 and M60 Patton tanks also played an important role in shaping armored doctrine. They were designed during a time when tanks were expected to perform multiple roles, breaking through enemy lines, supporting infantry, and countering enemy armor. This philosophy laid the groundwork for the modern main battle tank concept, later embodied by the M1 Abrams. Lessons learned from operating and upgrading the Patton series directly influenced the Abrams design, from crew ergonomics to fire control technology and survivability features. What makes the Patton tanks particularly fascinating is their longevity. Many M48 and M60 tanks remained in service well into the late 20th and even early 21st centuries, especially in upgraded forms. Some countries continue to operate modernized M60 variants today, equipped with advanced electronics, reactive armor, and improved guns. This enduring service life is a testament to the strength of the original design and the adaptability of the platform. The legacy of the M48 and M60 Patton is not just about steel, guns, and engines. It is also about the crews who operated them. Tankers trained to fight in these machines developed skills, discipline, and teamwork that defined generations of armored soldiers. Inside the cramped steel hull, crews relied on trust and coordination, knowing that their survival depended on each other and on the reliability of their tank. For many veterans, the Patton tanks remain powerful symbols of service during one of the most tense periods in modern history. Today, the Patton tanks are largely retired from frontline U.S. service, replaced by more advanced platforms. Yet their influence remains visible in museums, training grounds, and ongoing conflicts where upgraded versions still operate. They stand as reminders of a time when the balance of power depended heavily on armored strength and when innovation was driven by the constant pressure of global rivalry. In the story of armored warfare, the M48 and M60 Patton tanks occupy a crucial middle ground between the lessons of World War II and the high-tech battlefields of today. They bridged generations, adapted to changing threats, and served across continents and decades. Their story is one of evolution, resilience, and enduring impact, making them some of the most important tanks ever built in the United States.